Hi guys, Richard from Venture Off Road here with another episode of What the Tech for iTechworld here in Perth. Today we're going to be looking at the PS3600 Pro power station and the expansion batteries that go with it. Let's take a look. Okay guys, first of all we're going to have a look at the face of the power station here. At the bottom here we have 3 GPO sockets, okay, and the AC rated output is 3600 watts. Now the inverter inside is a 3600 watt inverter, but its supported rating is only 2600 watts, which is still quite a lot. That means your induction cooktops and all the rest of it, no problem there at all. As with all their power stations, you have to turn each item on individually. Moving up to the 12 volt outlet, we have the cigarette charger there at 10 amps. We have the 3.5mm jack plugs, I think they are. They're 3 amp each. And we have the XT60 25 amp rated connection there, okay? Remembering that all of these have to be turned on individually when you want them. So next up we have USB. So we've got USB 3, a USB-C 20 watt times 3, and a USB-C 100 watt times 1. Now that would be what you'd be using to charge laptops. We also have the input power dial here, which we'll come back to later, but we're going to have a look at the expansion battery first. So we have a USB outlet here, both USB-C and USB 3. We also have an input from a XT60. Maximum wattage going in is 200 watts, and that can be for a solar panel or blanket, whatever you happen to have. Obviously it's switched here as well, it's got a center switch here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to turn them on and go through what's actually on the display here. Okay, so when we turn these on, they're actually paralleled at the back here. This one and this one are fully charged. When I turn this on, because this is the master and this is the slave, it will turn on both. So if I press and hold that, there we go. They're both turning on. You can see that they're 100% capacity here, and they're good to go. What we're going to do is plug in the uncharged expansion battery in, and then what we'll be able to see is the voltage going in from the mains as to where it's actually going, and you'll see the corresponding one here. So we're going to turn these back off again, so you can see that what's there at the moment. So I'll turn them back off, and we'll plug in the second expansion battery there. Okay, as you can see, one of the batteries is already tied in with the included link lead, or link cable I should say. Don't want to do this when they are turned on, obviously, so we just plug that in there like so. Up on this one here, and plug this one in as well. They do have a release there so that they can't be just knocked out. Whilst we're here, we can see that it's got a XT90 MPPT input for solar, a maximum of 2000 watts to go in there, and obviously an overload protection there. Should that trip, you reset it at that point. Whilst I'm turning this around, a couple of other facts is that they are sizable units, not too big. They certainly weigh a little bit more than the smaller ones, the main unit being 42 kilos, and the expansion batteries are 36.5 kilos. So not light, but they do have carry handles which you can extend out and lift up, and they're on wheels at the back, a bit like a suitcase. So they're pretty easy to maneuver around. Okay, so they're now all linked together in parallel, which means we've got basically 900 amp hours of usage out of all three. I'm going to turn them on the mains now, and the minute I do, all 3 of those will turn on. There we go. So straight away we can see they've all lit up. The 2 that are already at capacity and 1 that's only at 48%. So now what we'll do is we'll get a close up and we can see what actually is being put from here into this one. This one's still topping up a little bit, but we'll go through those figures. Okay, so we have input wattage of 2200 watts there. You can see that there. That's the maximum you can see down here on that dial. Now I can control how much input I have. So if I'm using a smaller inverter, maybe off a vehicle to charge this up, and it hasn't got the capacity to do 2200 watts, I can get it down to the 1600 watts, 1200 watts, 800 watts, and even 400 watts. We can control that input. But you can see there now we've got down to a maximum of 1600 watt input, and we're putting out 1392, 91 watts out to these two batteries. Now you can see here that the output voltage, wattage, is corresponding with the one on this side here. So this one's pretty much full. This one's actually sending out a little bit to this one as well, backfilling. But this one's being charged with the main of that from this unit here is charging up there. So we can see what our outputs and inputs are on this dial here, which is really handy. You can see where the state of play is with all your batteries. Okay, so a few other things that we might need to consider about this as well. The pure sine wave inverter that it has, this pure sine wave is basically like the electric you have in your household. It's not a modified or a square wave. And it means that it can be used with more sensitive electronics like computers and things like that. Now the other benefit of this unit is also it has what we call pass-through technology, which means it can be charging whilst it's actually outputting and powering stuff up. Now where this comes into its own is it can be used as a UPS, an uninterrupted power supply. Now this means that if you live in an area where you frequently have blackouts or power outages, as we sometimes do here, we could plug our computers into this and have this running in the background. So your computer plugs into this plugs into the mains. Now, should the power go out, rather than dumping your computer and shutting it right down, which they don't particularly like, is this will take about 10 milliseconds, I think it is. It's hardly noticed that it will actually kick straight in, and this will then become the power source until the electric goes back on. Or if maybe you've got a fridge that's very sensitive and you've got food in there that you don't want to spoil, something like that. So this can be used as a UPS as well. They also come with all your leads, your 240 volt, and the expansion batteries also come with the connecting lead that stores in the top of the box there as well. So who's going to use this? Anyone from tradies, caravanners, home use, exploration, the list is endless. If you want a strong, reliable, powerful 240 volt supply, then this will certainly do the job for you. So if you think this is for you, check it out online, or if you're in Perth, pop into the store and they will be able to help you out. Great little unit.